على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفأصفاكم ربكم بالبنين واتخذ من الملائكة إناثا إنكم لتقولون قولا عظيما ولقد صرفنا في هذا القرآن ليذكروا وما يزيدهم إلا نفورا قل لو كان معه آلهة كما يقولون إذا لابتغوا إلى ذي العرش سبيلا سبحانه وتعالى عما يقولون علوا كبيرا تسبح له السماوات السبع والأرض ومن فيهن وإن من شيء إلا يسبح بحمده ولكن لا تفقهون تسبيحهم إنه كان حليما غفورا صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين أفأصفاكم ربكم بالبنين واتخذ من الملائكة إناثا. Is it then that your Lord has chosen you people to have sons and has himself opted for females from among the angels? So this refers to the pagans of Arab. They used to say that the angels are na'udhu billah, daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This belief is wrong on two levels. Number one, to associate partners or sons or daughters or any source of children to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is absurd. And then even among the children, they would for themselves they would prefer boys. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that when you think, although it is a wrong thought, it is a wrong notion, but still, if you think that boys are superior, then why did you think that Allah is going to give you the superior kind? And in your belief, Allah has chosen the inferior kind of children, na'udhu billah, daughters, for himself, that he chose among the angels, females for himself to be his children. So, utterly wrong. إِنَّكُمْ لَتَقُولُونَ قَوْلًا عَظِيمًا. Surely you are uttering a very heavy, very serious statement. And this is again, the Prophet ﷺ has called this, that the son of Adam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the son of Adam calls me a name, it slurs against me, and it is not befitting of its station that it calls me a name or it slurs against me. Similarly, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in Surah Maryam that the mountains, even the strongest creations, the biggest creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they shake under the weight of this kalima, this sentence, when somebody says that na'udhu billah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave birth to a son. So this is a heavy and very serious thing to say. وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لِيَذَّكَّرُوا وَمَا يَزِيدُهُمْ إِلَّا نُفُورًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that surely we have explained things in various ways in this Quran, so that they may pay heed to the advice. So from different angles, from different ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to bring them to sense. وَمَا يَزِيدُهُمْ إِلَّا نُفُورًا. But it is only increasing them in aversion, in turning away. قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ مَعَهُ آلِهَةٌ كَمَا يَقُولُونَ. Say to them that had there been other gods along with him, as you say, or as they say, إِذَا لَابْتَغَوْا إِلَى ذِي الْعَرْشِ سَبِيلًا. Surely then they would have found a way to the Lord of the throne. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the one who is on Arsh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his special reflection, his special presence, the reality of which we do not know because we have such small and limited understanding, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to him as the one on the throne, or the one on the Arsh. The other gods that you make partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if they had any power, or if they were really gods, they would surely have found a way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fight Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to challenge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the reality. In the books of Kalam, it is written that logically it is proven, this enough is proof that the system of the world is running so smoothly without any frictions and without any fights between gods. If there was multiple gods, there was definitely would have been some sort of friction, some sort of fight, some sort of argument, and the system of the world would not be running so smoothly. This itself alone is proof enough that Allah is only one. Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yaquluna uluwan kabira. Allah is saying, Allah is pure. Pure is He and exalted, way high, highest. وَتَعَالَى عَمَّا يَقُولُونَ عُلُوًّا كَبِيرًا, immensely above what they say. So these claims are very inferior, very petty, and Allah is way high. Allah is higher than all of these inferior things. تُسَبِّحُ لَهُ السَّمَاوَاتُ السَّبْعُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَنْ فِيهِنْ, all the seven skies and the earth and everything that is within it, therein, chants the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, extols the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ, and there is not a single thing that does not chant the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except with his praise. يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُم, but you do not understand their tasbih, or their extolling, or their praising and doing the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The meaning here is that all creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such as human beings who are Muslims, and jinn kind who are Muslims, and the angels, they all voluntarily chant the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But even those things and those creations that do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such as the kuffar, they also, their bodies are such that with their existence, every single part and every single cell of their body is chanting the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by its existence, and by saying that we are constantly dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in fact, the inanimate objects that we think that they do not have a life, or they do not have sense, they are also chanting the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that with Hazrat Dawood ala nabina salatu wassalam, mountains used to join him and do the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, there is several reports of, authentic reports of miracles of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took some pebbles in his hand, some small stones, the Sahaba said that we could hear the chanting of the purity, the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the pebbles were making. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam handed it over to the hands of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, and they could still hear it. Then Hazrat Umar radiallahu anh, they could still hear it. Hazrat Usman radiallahu anh, they could still hear it, different Sahaba. But when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was gone, and they lifted those, they picked those stones up, those same stones up again, and they could not hear them praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, Hazrat Abdullah ibn Masud radiallahu anh has narrated that we could hear, when we were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we could hear the food that we were eating. It was being eaten and it was praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these things, they do have a sense, and they praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They do the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is just that وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ, we do not understand, we do not appreciate their tasbih, the way they are chanting the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّهُ كَانَ حَلِيمًا غَفُورًا, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forbearing and most forgiving. So these people who are doing shirk upon shirk upon shirk, and who are constantly disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and disrespecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Halim, He has forbearance, He is allowing them time and chance to come back to Iman and become people who are saved on the day of judgment. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also most forgiving, that if they do it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to willingly accept them into Iman. But if they do not make this choice, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is allowing them time, a certain time until the day of judgment, where they will be punished. And that is the real place of punishment. That is the real place of reward, blessing or punishment, reward or punishment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us those who fully bring faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do not associate partners in letter and spirit with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.